Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am here today. We're going to talk about something that works great if it's a business to business transaction like contractors or manufacturing. I'm here with my colleague, Jeremy. Jeremy, what's going on, bud?
What's up, man? How's everything?
Everything's great. Came home early. It looks like the sun's behind me. So, guys, please forgive that. Right. So, one of the biggest things that a lot of people run into is when you are stepping up and going to that next level in business, right? And you take on a bigger contract, it's tough to be able to float that contract, whether you're in manufacturing or you're in construction. If you get a big job, let's say you're used to doing a $200,000 job, and you have to have like 50,000 to float that job from beginning to end, and then you get paid, and then you step up and you hit a $500,000 job, or you hit $1 million job. That takes a different level of cash flow, right? And so there's a program that a lot of people don't realize exists that we have called project financing. And what it does is it helps finance that particular job, right? And so the way it works is this. Let's say you get that $1 million job. You need money to start that job to float salaries, maybe material, equipment. So what you can do is you can draw up to 20% of that contract, and you only pay on what you draw. So you could draw up to 200,000, and then you're charged a small percentage on what you draw until it's paid back. And usually it's only out for 30 to 60 days, and then the job floats itself. And what that allows you to do is, one, if you work with us, we can price that in and show you how to price it into your bid. And then two, more importantly, you can take on larger jobs, bigger purchase orders, and essentially grow your business without worrying what's in there. Jeremy, what questions do you have on that?
So is it echoing a lot?
What was that?
Is it echoing a lot? I apologize.
No, it's not equity.
Okay. So is there any limitations to what you can use that funding for? Like, is there?
I mean, you're gonna use it for that job, right? It doesn't make sense to. You don't want to rob Peter and pay Paul,
Right.
right? So you're gonna use it on that job. And one of the cool things is like our team, our underwriting department, will actually cash flow and model the whole scope of workout with you to essentially make sure it makes sense, right? And then what I do, a lot of the commercial contractors we work with, they understand that model, and then they bid that draw in. So they're actually bidding in the cost of the financing on all their upcoming works or projects. So they're not actually paying for it. The person that they're doing the job is paying for it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So what is the requirements for, to be able to qualify for this, as far as credit score,
It's
past history, all of that stuff? What exactly is the parameters for how you can set this up for your business?
Yeah, that's a solid question. So there's no real credit score requirements, right? What they're going off of is they want to see you doing it in business for 2 years. We've gotten it done sooner, like a year or 6 months, depending on what the experience level is. But what they're going to collect is basically an application, 6 months of banks, a tax return, prior year's financials, current financials, and the work contract. Okay. And from the work contract, they create the cash flow model to make sure it makes sense. Like I have a cosmetic manufacturer that uses this every 3 months. I have a lot of GMs and contractors that use it on every upcoming commercial job. Why? Because it's easy. It works out a lot better in the long run for them. Okay. And eventually they build that cost. After you do it one time, you build that cost into your bid, and it makes it so you don't have money issues to start jobs.
Right. And that allows you to hire more staff that you need, get the equipment that you need, products, all of that things up front, maybe save a little bit on, bulk pricing of them. Is there any other programs that can work in line with this?
In tandem. Yeah. I mean, you could theoretically use invoice factoring on the back end if you want to. Mm-hmm. Most people, once they understand how this works, they'll just use this, right? And the reason I'm saying that is because that glare is awful. The reason I'm saying that, right, is think about you take on, let's say you're doing projects that are $500,000, right? You probably have 200,000, 300,000 in the bank at all times.
Mhm.
When you take that step up and you get a $2 million contract, it might cost you 300 to 400,000 to start that. You can't start that job and use all your available cash and then have nothing left to pay bills, right?
Right.
So plugging in project financing, what it's going to do is allow you to take on that larger job. And let's say you have 15% margins, that's the equivalent of you doing and completing maybe 2 or 3 smaller jobs, right? 4 smaller jobs. So it makes a lot of sense to use it as long as you're using it wisely, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that having knowledge of programs like this, I know a lot of people that I talk to, smaller contractors and people in that nature, they don't really know that something like this exists. So it's good to kind of bring this out into light, make people understand that there's options to kind of get the ball rolling, so you can take more jobs, take bigger jobs, and not have to strain your cash flow as much.
Dude,
Uh,
100%. I'll
yeah,
give you a great example. I had someone that does, they do stickers, right? Commercial stickers, like Walgreens, or a business is opening up and they have to put like stickers and decals all over the place, right? And so they go in and what they do is they do the work and then they're net 30, right? Well, that person wanted a line of credit. The bank was dragging their feet. The bank doesn't know what invoice factoring is. Invoice factoring allowed him to is getting him paid right away, so he can take on more and more work, right? And I still got him a line of credit, and we did this in 2 to 3 days, as opposed to a bank taking 30 days and giving him the wrong program. All right, so it is very, very important when you're building a business to match what you qualify for and match what your pain points are to the right program.
exactly.
And most people fail to do that, right?
Yeah,
Certainly banks, that's probably their biggest failure, right? All right, you need a loan. All right, do you fit the box? Yes or no? It's going to take 30 days to get to that answer. All right. And then if you fit the box, well, if it doesn't actually fit what you need, right, you're going to burn through that loan and you're going to be in the exact same position.
yeah, exactly. And knowing the difference between factoring and project funding, when it would work better for each, is good. And that's what we do, kind of working with people one on one, looking at the contracts, looking at the invoices, and being able to determine that. So, is there any restrictive kind of projects or industries that this will not work in?
I haven't seen it yet. I would say that one of the two programs should fit. The main difference is it's got to be B2B or business to government. There's got to be an actual work contract there to finance,
Mhm.
right? And if there's a work contract there, it should work out, or a purchase order there, it should work out, right? And wholesale, I've seen it a lot in wholesale, right? So, and wholesale kind of goes hand in hand with manufacturing. So you have somebody that's, let's say, selling product to a Walmart, right? And they got to get $1 million order in, and they got to, that $1 million order might cost them 200, 300 grand to produce and then ship out. Well, guess what? Invoice factoring, project funding, you use that. You're not using any of your own cash. And then you can go and do 10 to 15 other orders behind it and not lose business, not worry about cash flow, and you're not giving up too much margin to do that, so you're still making a profit and you're growing at a faster rate. That's the difference, man.
Yeah, growth factor, because you want to keep that ball rolling, because you don't want to sit it on your hands while you're waiting for payment, so you can
Correct.
move on to the next thing. So these programs are set up that way to uh, save you money on the back end, right? And get you moving towards bigger jobs, getting more momentum, maybe hiring more people, growing your business quicker. And it's good that people understand what these are exactly for and how they differentiate from loans, lines of credit, things like that. So, yeah, I mean,
100%.
as far as questions, I mean, those are the main questions I kind of wanted to ask you as far as project funding. If you wanted to touch on anything else as far as it.
And man, that's pretty much it. I mean, if anyone has questions, type them in the comments. Otherwise, hit up Jeremy, hit up myself. We'll be happy to walk through it, give you guys an analysis, and see what actually makes sense, what actually fits, and kind of go from there. Right, Jay, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate this. I love doing these with you. So let's hit another one next week. Sorry about the glare, guys, but
You look like
timing didn't really work out too well.
you got an aura around you, man.
Yeah, right. It's crazy. Next time I'll put myself in a better position. But hey, I appreciate you, Jeremy. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Now we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you.